Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of The Shooting Show, and welcome to today's program. Friends, we are indeed proud to be here because I cannot adequately communicate what a struggle it is every week just to get on the air. You know, we live in such strange times now. We live in such dangerous times. Nobody knows what's going to be happening in the future. A lot of people are concerned about Y2K, and of course we've got an idiot in the White House. Maybe not an idiot, someone who is such a man of cunning, a man of who knows what. Certainly someone with, from all indications, has evil intent. If you don't believe his intent's evil, well, ask Linda Willie, ask Juanita Broderick, ask Paula Jones, ask some of those folks that have crossed the river, had unexplainable deaths. Too many people, so many people. My goodness, there are a lot of other famous people, and nobody's had the number of their friends die like this man in the White House, friends. Very strange times. And he and his cohorts there don't mind sending young Americans to a foreign country to get involved in somebody else's civil war. You know, he protested against the Vietnam War, demonstrated against the United States, went to Russia during the Vietnam War. And here he is doing the same thing that Lyndon Johnson did, trying to manage something he knows nothing about, interfering in somebody else's civil war. I tell you what, friends, it's a terrible thing. I tell you, we live here close to Interstate 20. I drive Interstate 20 here in northern Louisiana just about every day at some point. And you know what we're seeing here on Interstate 20? We're seeing tanks, we're seeing armored personnel carriers, we're seeing military fuel trucks that are all heading east, going east so they can be put on boats and shipped, unfortunately, over to Kosovo and who knows where else. You know, we still have troops in Haiti. And right now, and this has come out in a congressional hearing, I suppose, a congressman brought this out, whereas the United States government, now you talk about your diversity, they have spent so far around $300,000 down in Haiti assisting in voodoo ceremonies. Hey friends, you know, I said they were evil. Well, this administration is supporting black magic. You know, heck of a note, friends. And we're supposed to be you know, whether you're a Christian or not, we're supposed to be a Christian nation. That's how we were founded. Whether you are or not, we appreciate you watching, regardless of what faith you belong to. You don't have to be a Christian to watch this program, because if you're an American, the information is going to be pertinent to you. But look what these nuts are doing. And honestly, friends, I tell you, I just hope that another world war is not started out of this. I heard someone on one of the talk radio shows earlier today, heard someone talking about, well, if if the United States and Russia can be brought into a confrontation where they'll both expend their weapons and expend their arsenals shooting at each other, that would be a prime occasion for those nice Chinese communists to come in and make an alliance with somebody. And you know that the people that we're assisting, I say our U.S. military, is assisting over in Kosovo, the Kosovo Liberation Army, KLA. They have ties to Maoist as in Mao Zedong, Maoist China. They have ties to Iran. They have ties to Iraq. They have ties to drug dealers. And you know what? People talk about the atrocities. Well, how many people have we as Americans killed, innocent civilians, in Yugoslavia? It's in the hundreds now. Who knows how many? Because we know our news media is not going to tell us the truth. We know the government's not going to tell us the truth. I tell you, friends, it is a mess. And our own government, hey, you know, they're going overseas and killing people. I think that is a tragedy for America. We have no business being involved in somebody else's civil war. It is a terrible thing. Nobody knows what's going to be happening. You know, I saw in the New American Magazine where Helen Chenoweth, this great congresswoman from out in Idaho, says that the Kosovo operation, sending American troops without the approval of Congress, is illegal. Well, you know, Clinton and his crew don't care what's legal. It's, well, do they have enough dirt on congressmen to keep them from stopping them? You know, can they raise enough blackmail? Is this how our government's running? You know what? We're the closest we've ever been here in the United States to having a dictator. We're the closest we've ever been. Some people talk about Franklin Roosevelt. Hey, Roosevelt had nothing on Clinton. Absolutely not. Bill Clinton, is the closest thing we've ever had to a dictator. You know how I can say that? Because the law does not apply to Bill Clinton. You know, this judge in Arkansas found him in contempt of court. Susan Weber Reich found him in contempt. She said he obviously lied under oath. He perjured himself. He tried to obstruct justice. Hey, but it's okay. It's Bill Clinton. It's okay. Heck of a note, isn't it? And you know, here we are. This is one of the very, certainly concerning guns, this is the only place at the present that you can get this information on television. And it is such a struggle because the good conservatives out there just do not want to get involved. They're afraid that they may lose something or lose some contract or face some kind of retribution for being involved. Well, you know what? One day, when these nice conservatives who were too tight to get involved on a project such as ours and help, you know, when they're behind that chain link fence, you know, they're going to be scratching their head saying, you know, maybe we should have done something else. Maybe we should have. A lot of people now are concerned about Y2K, about what's going to be happening. And Georgia Arms is working as many hours in a day as they can. They're making ammunition. People are stockpiling ammo for Y2K. Well, you know what, friends? We ought to be stockpiling information. We ought to be distributing this stockpiled information to as many people as possible. You know, I've been saying for a long time, we just do this program week to week. And a very few, and I do mean very few of you, have contributed to help us stay on the air. But we want our message to keep going out, and we're very hopeful about the new satellite TV channel that Ed Hubble is working on, he and his members in his satellite TV network, and we're hopeful about that. Remember, that starts on May the 8th at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. It's on the Canadian satellite. I believe it's E2. Some of you knew it as the old A1 somewhere there. If I got it wrong, we'll correct it later in the show, but it's going to be on Channel 6. And Ed's idea is to get a little block of time and hopefully to get a gun-friendly network kicked off. And we're certainly trying to help. He's offered us a spot there, and we're trying to work out some things. But, you know, friends, I was talking to Ed earlier today. We were talking about the National Rifle Association, on how there are so many great members around the country, people that really have believed in the NRA all these years. And I've been pretty tough on the NRA and for a long time now, because I believe that for $200 million a year that they have, we should not be losing our rights as gun owners. They could have had multiple TV networks for that kind of money. But my argument and my beef is with the people who manage and who run the National Rifle Association. Because, you know, they have those great jobs with those huge salaries. And typically these folks are not shooters. They're not sure where the bullet comes out on the gun. So how are they going to represent us as gun owners? And that's why I've been so tough on them, friends, because what you want to do? You want to give them more money? Bill Ruger wrote them a check for $1 million. They built a museum with it. And, you know, there's nothing that I can do about what the NRA does in Washington. But there are some things that you and I can do. Because, hey, here we are on TV today. This is nationwide, national TV. And we've been making the case now for these 9 years about just who we as gun owners are. And, you know, if there's someone with the NRA that would like to come on this show and debate me, argue with me, hey, you know what, if they can prove me wrong, that'd be great. That would be great. Because there's nothing more I would like to do, I'd like to do more than talk about what great things the NRA is doing. But I can't, because right now they're not. One of the things you can do is you can join our Gun Owner Rights Association. It's $50 a year, and you can see evidence of the membership dues from our GRA, because we're here today with everything we've done, from selling rifles, selling kits. And by the way, it brings up something here. Our rifles have started coming in. So by the time you see this, this one's going to have gone out to a customer. We have the great 460 Rowland rifles. Here is an upper, and we've got a couple of these in. They're going out to folks that have purchased them. So yes, we're starting to get them. It's been the same drill. Olympic Arms has been so swamped with people buying anything that even looks like one of these AR-15 rifles that they've been a little bit tied up in getting us our guns, but they are coming now. So we're very, very pleased about that. And friends, let me tell you what. You can help us by promoting our 460 Rowland cartridge and kits, because everything, the GRA dues, the sales of the kits, sales of the rifle, sales of the other guns, the conversion kits we're doing, all these things have helped us to stay on the air. And I'll tell you what, friends, I don't know, hopefully we can continue on the air. We're certainly going to try. But if we don't get more people involved, and all you have to do is tell them the truth, you'd be amazed at at what we read about, what the opinions people have about guns, simply because they don't know much about guns. And the younger people coming up in school, they're being brainwashed now that guns are evil, guns are bad. That's what they're being told. And friends, that's crazy. It is crazy. But it's being done to our young people, to the women, to the children, little kids. They're being told how evil guns are, because these anti-gun folks know that for most of us, you and I, it doesn't matter what they say, we know the truth. We know what it is. So what they're going to try and do is reach the people who don't know, the people that are wondering why we have guns, what they're for, how we can use them safely and as recreation, and yes, to defend ourselves. I tell you what, friends, heck of a note. If you want to help us stay on the air, if you can help, if you can join our GRA, if you can buy one of our products, whatever you can do, friends, please send whatever you can to the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Duberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. You can certainly call us. Our phone number, 318-377-5189. And on the internet, you can find us there, /shootingshow.hypermart, HYPERMART.net in a /. You can find us on the internet. And we want to give our most sincere thanks to our friends that do our website. We appreciate your help so much. Okay, we have a great show for you today. In fact, I've been telling people just how spectacular the performance on our 460 is. And I think we'll do a little demonstration right now that I think is pretty impressive. So let's do that right now. Well, let's see, let me use enough hold over here. Shooting at a longer range. About now. Put our gun on safe. Well, friends, it is indeed a great day to be out shooting. I tell you what, spring is here, and I know some of you folks in the northern states are still experiencing a little snowfall, and thankfully here in Louisiana, we're a little better shape. Certainly, everything's green. It is great. Starting to get warm in the daytime. Well, let's see. Pretty close. Give it another second. Let's see. Just about now. I keep telling people these things have a longer range than you might think. Anyway, let's let another shooting show begin.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, here it is. This is the great Georgia Arms 45 DA Colt or double action Colt cartridge. This is the first major improvement on the Colt 45 since 1873. They have this in loaded cowboy ammunition. They're also selling brass, so you can load your own combinations. This cartridge case is absolutely a joy to work with. We're even seeing improved accuracy, we think due to the slightly larger rim on our 45 DA Colt case. You can get a free catalog, or you can order these from Georgia Arms, 1-800-624-6861 for their entire lineup, and please tell them you saw it here on our show. And friends, of course, the cowboy load is mild but super accurate. And of course, you can take your hand loads up to the limit of what the loading manuals will allow. The great 45 double action Colt cartridge from Georgia Arms. Give them a call today, friends. A free phone call with a free catalog.
And friends, let me remind you that Georgia Arms also has the best lineup of rifle and handgun ammunition here in the United States. They're running at full speed, making as much ammunition as is possible. And yes, they are shipping 460 Rowland ammo. They have the two loads, the 185 maximum load, which is a 185 grain bullet at 1,550 feet per second from the pistol, and also the service load, which is going to run 1,350 to 1,400. Certainly a great defensive load, easier to shoot also. They are making ammo as fast as they can. A lot of people have heeded our words and are stockpiling, putting ammo back, but they still are delivering, and they have not increased their prices. So let me tell you, that is an indication of the character and the good people at Georgia Arms, because they're still trying to sell ammo, even in short supply, at fair prices. So give them a call today. Get in line on some things, and certainly some things are ready for immediate delivery. Call them 1-800-624-6861, and please tell them you saw it on our show. Now friends, here's one of the neatest little guns you'll ever see. This is the Mossberg home security shotgun, and yes, that is a 410 gauge shell there. And let me show you a couple of things here. One, the gun has a muzzle brake on the end, and this gun is primarily designed to be used by people of smaller stature, especially women. And I tell you what, a 410 is no joke, has a very nice synthetic stock here, and you'll also notice it has this vertical pistol grip to pump it with. And honestly, the first time we ever saw anything like that, to my memory, was on the Miami Vice show. One of the officers had a vertical forend, but it's also grooved up here on top for someone who doesn't prefer to use the forend pistol grip type thing there. But this is a scaled down Model 500 Mossberg. And let's go back to the muzzle of the gun. You'll see it certainly has a muzzle brake, but the bore also looks bigger than it actually is. And I think the intimidation factor might be worth something here, because you walk into somebody's house and see that great big hole in the end of that gun barrel. It is certainly going to be intimidating. Let me tell you what, a 410 is no joke. We'll look at it and see how it performs. Now friends, what we're looking at here, this is a 12 gauge shell, a slug actually. This is a 20 gauge shotgun shell. You can see the difference. Look from this end, you can see the difference in the 12 and 20. And yes, here is the 410. Now yeah, there's a lot of difference, but don't start making fun, because guess what? The velocities that these 410 pellets have is just the same as what this 12 gauge and this 20 gauge have. It's just not quite as many of them. There are a number of loads available, including a 3-inch Magnum in the 410, and also a load of buckshot. Now this is triple alt buck. There are 3 of them, one behind the other here. And I'll tell you what, friends, in home defense, that would have some, certainly some usefulness, I think, because that would be a severe injury, because triple alt buck is 33 or 35 caliber, whatever, more than 30 caliber, and 3 of them that are spread out in a pattern. So just giving a little idea here of what we're talking about as far as size goes. Now then, friends, the Mossberg shotgun, maybe we'll get a chance to show you this. They're such simple designs, and you've heard me say for a long time, of course, Mossberg has never spent 10 cents with us. But I'll tell you what, Mossberg is whipping the daylights out of the other shotgun companies for the simple reason they have an excellent quality gun at a super low price. And
apparently they worked out their manufacturing. I flatly don't know. I don't know how they do it, but they're very, very successful. And you know, the Mossberg won, and it wasn't a political deal like it was Beretta. Listen, the reason our military is carrying Berettas, and Berettas are nice enough guns, but that was a political deal that Jimmy Carter did. And I've heard the Beretta commercials, and they're saying, yeah, well, I mean, they're okay as for what they are, but that was a political deal made by Jimmy Carter, the reason we have Berettas in the military now. But here nor there, forget that. The Mossberg was the only gun, as I understand it, that completed the shotgun trial for the military, just like the Jungle gun. I think is the only semi-automatic that was able to complete the military trial of 3,000 rounds of buckshot fired with minimal or no malfunctions. And I tell you, they just build working, just good old guns. Let me tell you, that'll stay with you, that are easy to afford. And I tell you what, this home security makes a lot of sense, and we know this gun is unloaded. But you see, that muzzle is darn near the size, well, it's probably around a 20 gauge size. It's a pretty doggone big muzzle there in these things. And we have a volunteer drawing of the snake. No, I'm no artist. But anyway, we got a snake out here we're at about 15 or 20 feet. And friends, let me tell you what, this is one of, no question, one of the best guns you can have around your home or in your truck, or certainly at the camp. This may be the best snake gun that ever happened. You load it just like you do the other Mossberg shotgun, just press in the bottom here of the magazine, and realize we've got a load here with number 6 shot. It's a ½ ounce of number 6 shot. And remember, it's moving just as fast. You got just as much velocity as you do with a 12 gauge. You just don't have the massive amount of shot. But let me tell you what, up close and personal and in a defensive situation, these are no joke. Very low recoil. Let's check our snake silhouette here. Let's go ahead and ventilate our old snake. We're out here. This is where a lot of snakes will be shot, about 15 or 20 feet. Here in Louisiana, we have a lot of snakes. And a lot of other places too. A lot of you folks out west, well, heck, you can put one of these guns in your truck. They're, again, very inexpensive. Just the neatest package you ever saw. See what happens on our snake. Okay. Let's ease up to the target. Take a look. Now, friends, the buck, I actually aimed right here, which would let me know I should have aimed just a little bit lower, but we still perforated the snake's head. That would have done in the old snake. But let me tell you what, that's pretty severe stuff. That's number 6 shot. That is no joke. That'll kill a squirrel, small game, rabbits, and still we got the old snake's head. So again, it's so easy to shoot. This may be the ultimate snake gun that ever happened as far as a long gun goes. Friends, these are 3-inch magnums here. You have the option there. Let's load a couple of them in the gun, and I want to show you something. And again, this gun was made with the ladies in mind, people of smaller stature. And where's old Blue? There he is. Okay, I didn't want him over here. But let me just show you something briefly. Get my earplugs in a little better. Go ahead and pump it. Very solid action. Now watch, one-handed now. Just watch what it does. See, not much recoil at all. Let's shoot again. Watch, just one-handed. See, now if you can do that one-handed, think about what you could do if you're pumping, you know, and stay on the gun. Very, very easy to shoot. All right, let's try something else. Now we've got our buckshot load. Let's try this. Remember, the buckshot has 3 different triple-aught pellets, and we're standing here at about 12 or so feet. Now I'll move a little closer to the target. But let's see what the buckshot does, and this would be in sort of like a home defense type range here. And I'm going to shoot a little to the right of the snake so we can see, just get the pattern. And we're about 15 or so feet. Let's see what it does. Okay, come on down to the target. This was the wad, But you see, friends, that's a little pattern that would let you spread out. That's about a 3.5 inch little pattern here of buckshot. And those buckshot are moving, those pellets are moving over 1,200 feet per second. So they're no joke. It's sort of like shooting, probably around 3 9mm or something like that at the same time. Not quite as much bullet weight per pellet, of course, but that would really be a serious injury if you had to use the gun in self-defense. It's really not, hey, it's nothing to be taken lightly. Now, friends, we've loaded 3 of our buckshot rounds, and I tell you, those who are recoil sensitive, and maybe in an area you live in, maybe you can't own a handgun. You know, there's Morton Grove, and this little gun is so easily handled and so easily manipulated, and I believe anybody who can handle any sort of gun will be able to manipulate this little Mossberg home security. But let's snap off some 3 rapid shots, in fact, with our buckshot, and let's just see how it looks. Go ahead and load it. Here we go. Got 3 in the gun actually now. Let's see what happens. Okay, friends, that didn't take long. Ooh. Got 6 holes here, 3 holes in the small target, and I tell you what, I just believe the others were from the wads. I just believe that would be a heck of a discouraging note for someone who came in your home at 3 o'clock in the morning. This would certainly be a long way from unarmed. No, it's not a 460, but hey, it's pretty doggone potent, more so than we might think. As I said earlier, and you've got the little tab back here behind the trigger guard, that's your bolt release. I tell you what, friends, quite an alternative. You know, a lot of water areas, or if you're around water, you're not allowed to have a gun that shoots any kind of single projectile like a pistol or even a rifle there on your boat. But you can probably have a shotgun, probably so, because you don't have nearly the range that you'd have even from a handgun. And this gun actually, it holds 5 in the magazine, 5 of the 2.5 inch shells in the magazine. And you'll notice, certainly for someone that's uncomfortable using this vertical pistol grip, you can still, I push the bolt release, you can still use it with the finger grooves here on the slide itself. I'll tell you what, I'm impressed. This is the first one I've really had a chance to shoot. Of course, just load it right there in the bottom of the well here in the receiver. Let's go ahead and put 5 in it. And let's have a little fun with it. You know, friends, we got to do this. No, it's not a 460, but hey. It's pretty darn impressive. Little Mossberg 410 home security. I tell you, this is really a fun shotgun that could be used at home defense. Maybe the ultimate snake gun right here, friends. I tell you what, because you can shoot the thing so rapidly, and every member of your family is big enough to hold a gun and can shoot this thing. It certainly gets high marks from us here on the program.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. And we want to mention the good folks at Clark Custom Guns in Princeton, Louisiana, one of the most complete gun shops in the entire United States. They do all sorts of things like this specialty meltdown on this new STI gun. Also, they have an excellent staff of people to help you with guns such as these Benelli Super Black Eagles, taking 3.5-inch magnums, a complete line of handguns, semi-automatics, revolvers, all sorts of neat things in the shop there. And of course, here's Mr. Jim Clark himself out helping a customer, some of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. They have a complete line of loading supplies, loading tools, gunpowder, you name it, primers, all sorts of accessories for your guns, whatever you might need, certainly within reason. Here's Kay Clark Michalik when she's not winning championships, back working there in the office. And here's her husband, Jerry Michalik, the fastest revolver shooter in the world, when he's not winning championships at work. Here's Jim Clark Jr. back on the lathe, the same drill, when he's not winning championships, working right there in the shop. That's why you can get such complete quality of product and expertise here at Clark Custom Guns. Friends, give them a call today, area 318-949-9884. They have a great catalog. We appreciate them supporting our project. And now, friends, we're going to watch a piece of tape sent to us by Doug Turnbull, Restoration. He's in Bloomfield, New York. A lot of us have old guns that we've inherited or purchased at gun shows or wherever else. And these folks make a business out of restoring old guns. And let's take a look at a small part of this video. I think you'll enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Doug Turnbull. This video and the enclosed handbook will give you basic information for metal preparation, including disassembly, screw repair, polishing, and various finishes. We will also explain the differences between refinishing and restoration. But the most important piece of advice is to take your time and follow all the steps set in this video.
Whether your firearm is a tool for hunting, a family heirloom, or a rare collector's piece, you want to conserve its original condition to guard its value and preserve it for future generations. But sometimes, due to neglect or accidental exposure to the elements or other mishap, a firearm falls into disrepair. How can you restore it to its original condition or to as good a condition as possible? Well, much of the work you may need to have done will probably have to be performed by skilled craftsmen, highly trained and experienced in the field of firearm restoration, such as the professionals at Doug Turnbull Restoration. However, there may be much you can do to prepare your firearm for refinishing or restoration, saving you money and giving you the personal satisfaction of doing the work yourself. Refinishing a firearm usually means polishing wood and metal surfaces, then applying correct finishes. Restoration is the process of returning a firearm to original condition. The look a firearm has is a combination of reflection on polished and matte surfaces, subtle color differences in finish, how screw heads look and fit, the quality of wood, checkering, and engraving, all working together to make that firearm as unique today as when it left the factory. Restoration takes a firearm to this degree of detail, and in order to get this detail correct, you need to study good original condition firearms from the same era. The final grit used to polish and the direction of polish may vary considerably from year to year, even on the same firearm. An example of this is illustrated in Clausen's book on the 1911 .45 caliber auto. Models manufactured in 1912 had a highly polished finish, up to 600 grit. In 1918, the auto had a coarser finish, closer to a 120 grit. The polish direction is also different on many of the parts. Polishing either incorrectly would ruin its appearance and value. In order to do quality restoration and preserve the look of your firearm, you need to study books, look at good original examples, and have an understanding how the polished parts will look with the finish applied. The secret of refinishing and restoration begins with the metal preparation. You would not want to polish a set of double barrels to 600 grit because they would not have the proper look of an original set. Know as much as possible about your firearm before beginning. Wait, can your firearm be restored? You need to assess how bad the damage is before beginning.
Here's a Colt Lightning, and it's in very poor shape. It's been neglected because of its age, the abuse that it's been through, the parts missing, the cost of replacing parts, and just finding parts. Unless it's a family heirloom or great personal interest, it would really be best to leave this gun as a parts gun. Set it in a corner, tell lies about it.
Remember, every firearm will have a different set of parts and polishing directions. We suggest you have your local gunsmith evaluate your firearm and answer any questions you have before you begin. Also, if your firearm is very ornate or heavily engraved, it may be best to let the experts do all the work, including the preparation, rather than risk the artistic integrity of your firearm. Basic steps and techniques outlined here provide an overview of finish removal and metal preparation. Every firearm is different and will require special care in removing the finish and polishing parts. Be sure to work carefully, and anytime you're unsure of what to do next, stop and ask a professional gunsmith for help. In part 1 of this video, you'll see an overview of tools and tips to help you get started. Part 2 looks at screwdrivers and screws from bits to head repair. Part 3, a basic overview of disassembly with some helpful tips. Part 4, polishing, shows polishing basics, tips, and techniques for a variety of barrel and action styles. And packing your firearm for shipping is covered in Part 5. Now that you or an expert has determined that your firearm can be restored, how do you begin? What will you need? The following is a list of tools for preparing your firearm for refinishing or restoration. Since all guns are different, you may find you will have to add to the list, or you may not need every item. But generally, these are the tools you will need for the processes shown. Remember, it's always best to invest the extra dollars it takes to purchase better quality tools in the first place. A good source of these in all tools shown is Brownells.
You know, friends, a lot of us have old guns, and this is really advice from a master here, Doug Turnbull Restoration. If you'd like more information, if you'd like to have this tape, which we only viewed a very few minutes of this terrific tape on Introduction to Metal Preparation, you can write to Doug Turnbull Restoration at P.O. Box 471, Bloomfield, New York. The zip code is 14469, or you can give them a call at area 716-657-6338 and find out about their complete line of services. And now, due to popular demand, we're going to run our video on our song, America, Where Have You Gone? And we think this is especially appropriate for the times we're in.
Okay, I'll try. Still on the studio. Take 44.
You ready?
Johnny, get it right this time.
I'll certainly try. I'm going to try, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, let's try and do it.
Once upon a time, men were free, could follow their dreams in liberty. But now there's a darkness that hides what we used to see. ask ourselves, just what do we truly believe? Oh, America, where have you gone? Oh, America, what have you become? Once we had a voice free to sing. Once we could say, let freedom ring. But now greed and power grip us all, and the liars and the cheaters have set us up for a ball. Oh, America, where have you gone? Oh, America, what have you become? In faith we celebrated all things good, and if we were free, most still would. But the tyrant's hot breath chills us all. For God and country, won't you please hear our call? Oh, America, where have you gone? Oh, America, what have you become? Oh, where have you gone? Oh, America, what have you become?
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
With one of these great Kimber, this is our shooting show model, full size, the Johnny Rowlands signature model. Well, you can make those hits out there with a mirror at 100 yards, and when you can make consistent hits on targets out at 200 yards, well, just imagine how easy it would be at 25 yards. Or at defense range. If you'd like to have one of our shooting show Kimbers, be it compact or the full-size model, or if you just want the best 1911 that money can buy at a very good price, the best factory production 1911 semi-automatic pistol ever built by any factory, give us a call here at the program, 318-377-5189, or you can write to us, send an FFL, we can wholesale these guns. Send an FFL to the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Doberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024.
Well, friends, we hope you're enjoying our program today, and I tell you, we've had so many requests for the little song I wrote about America, Where Have You Gone? And you know, friends, looking, and I won't talk about our gun here in a moment, but when we start looking at what's happening to our country, for example, on the way over here today, I had the radio on, and I was listening to all the politically correct messages. You know, one public service PSA, a politically correct message after another. We're not doing this. We've got to save the whales. We've got to turn your turn your husband in if you're being beaten. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. And no responsible person is for destroying the planet. No responsible and thinking person wants to be mean to another race. I mean, but you see, we hear these things all the time from the politically correct side. And I know I'm not the only one hearing this. And friends, the reason is the media is so controlled. The major broadcast sources, and just like what happened in Missouri just recently, where the gun owners lost that vote. You know, the politically correct folks out of Washington, including Hillary Clinton, came out there and campaigned, told the inner city people and the soccer moms, what Rush Limbaugh calls the arousal gap people, whatever, the people who don't know much about guns and know even less about us as gun owners. And they told those folks in Missouri that, hey, it's going to be the Wild West. And somebody commented, said how the gang members were going to be taking guns inside sporting events. The gang members are already taking weapons inside the sporting events. You see, friends, our country is hanging in the balance. America, what have you become? And that's why we've tried so hard to stay on the air, friends, because you know what? I have a belief that I'm sure many of you share with me. I know that if we can reach enough people around the country with our message, with who we as gun owners are, with who we as decent Americans are, why we have guns. You know, right now, I heard on the news today, this is Thursday as we're taping this, how the American military blew up a convoy of refugees coming out of Kosovo or going back in somewhere over there, killed about 70 people. That's just today. You know, it is such a weird thing that we have someone in the White House and a whole bunch of people up there that see these refugees as just pawns. It's just a video game war. And friends, we got no business being in Kosovo. I think most of you would agree with that. We have no business telling other countries how they should run their own affairs. I'm sorry, people have been hurting each other from the very beginning. From the very beginning of human history, people have been hurting each other. But you know, George Washington warned us about getting involved in foreign entanglements, especially where the interest of the United States was not involved. You know, you can get so many people if you go up to a shipwreck and you've got a boat, and hey, you can get enough people in the boat where your boat sinks, and then everybody's swimming for it. Well, this whole deal is about a United Nations effort to police the entire world. You know, they accuse us as conservative Americans, they accuse us of being racist, a lot of other things, and that's flatly not true. And you look at the hypocritical side of the Clintonians, of the New World Order people, You know, those folks in Africa and Rwanda, they're red. Their blood runs as red as anybody else. But when 500,000 of them got cut up, was the United Nations down there trying to stop it? No, because they didn't care. What about in Southeast Asia, in Cambodia, when literally the Pol Pot regime was destroying hundreds of thousands of their own citizens? Was the UN in there stopping that? No. What about today in communist China, where people are, if you don't agree with government, hey, they got a system to take care of you, but you don't see the United Nations over there trying to interfere in the Chinese communist government or what's going on in communist China. So friends, it's all about a setup. It's not NATO doing this. It's a United Nations operation. And the United States military, it's the U.S. military that's expending their weapons, firing their missiles, doing the work. And I think you can look for ground troops because, as I said at the beginning of the show today, we're starting to see tanks, we're starting to see armored personnel carriers, we're seeing fuel trucks, we're seeing all kinds of stuff heading east, coming down the interstate highway. I think it's just a matter of time. So friends, it's another charade. Now what are we going to do about it? You know, my own feeling is if we can reach more people on TV, well, we've got a shot. We have a genuine shot. And that's why we're so encouraged, we're hopeful about the satellite TV network, gun owner satellite TV network that Ed Hubble and his folks are trying to get going. They're going to have a little block of time on a Canadian bird. Here it is, satellite E2. Now that some of you will have that programmed as A1. Now that's beginning on May 8th. Satellite E2, which used to be A1 on Channel 6, it's going to kick off at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Now Ed has asked us to put our program in that time block, probably around 8 o'clock Eastern. That is Saturday, beginning May 8th on Channel 6. And please make a note of that, because friends, frankly, I don't know if we're going to be on here again next week or not. Things are pretty tough financially, and at the moment, you know, I've said this many times, I've lost count, but somehow we've always found a means of getting on, but it is very, very difficult now. We appreciate so much you being with us. We hope we can continue, but certainly look for a shooting show and the Shooting Express Network. They're starting May the 8th. If you can help us, friends, if you will, if you can, we've got to get our message out to as many people as possible. We have to, because this is the only chance. If we don't do it on TV, it's not going to happen. If we don't reach more people on television, you can kiss it all goodbye, because we've got to get numbers and we've got to do it quickly, because the liberal socialists are running for destruction of our country. Let's recognize our support group now. And I also want to remind you that our Fun Gun Weekend, we're going to have that regardless. It's going to be at Clark Custom Guns the first weekend in June. The first weekend, that Saturday and Sunday, we'll probably have a fish fry that Friday night. That's what we're planning. It's going to be a great time here at Clark Custom Guns. Let's go to our support group. We have Steadcraft, a custom machine shop in Torrington, Connecticut. Their number is area 860-496-7001. Our good friend Dennis Crocker, who is now handling Kramer holsters, very high quality holsters. You can get them from Dennis, as well as firearms training. His number is area 864-587-8722. You can call Custom Leatherwork and Saddlery for all kinds of leather work. They're in Denham Springs, Louisiana. Their number is area 225-667-9225. We have Camouflage Technologies, the folks that paint gun stocks in those remarkable patterns. Their number is area 909-674-6488. We have Flying Horse Galleries, great artwork on the internet there. You can find them at www.flyinghorse.net. Also, the Little River Trading Company in Cadiz, Kentucky. They have Civil War memorabilia, especially Confederate Civil War memorabilia. Their number is area 502-522-6167. We have BC Armory. Our friend Bruce Warren there in East Leroy, Michigan. His number is area 616-729-5508. He works on pistols and revolvers and is really having fun with our new 460 rolling cartridge. Friends, please remember our gospel show on Sunday morning on G6 Channel 7 from 10 to 10:30 Eastern Time. And please remember our radio show on the American Freedom Network on SpaceNet 4, Channel 19, 5 1.82 audio. And friends, help us if you can. The Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Duberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. Remember, our kits for the 1911 are $275 plus $5 shipping. We do have rifles on the way. We've had some that we have already shipped out. So please help us if you can, friends. Thanks for being with us today. We hope we can see you on another program.